Welcome back to Hump Recovery, where we just don't look for recovery, hump for it. No matter how close, no matter how far, no matter nothing, we're gonna go find that joint. Now today, I want to talk about and ask a question to everybody. And this is the important question. Are you in sobriety or are you in recovery? And I want to give a shout out to Shannon because she brought up this question. It was a good question. And it's a good question to ask everybody. Now, you will say to yourself, James, now ain't sobriety and recovery the same thing? If you're in sobriety, ain't you in recovery? And all the other way around, which way? This, that. And I will have to say, no, actually, I didn't learn this myself. I just learned this myself, actually. But it is a good point. Absolutely is a good point, and I have to bring it out. It is something different. Being in sobriety is different than being in recovery. And I'm going to tell you the definitions of both. Being in sobriety is just being sober because you have to. You understand what I'm saying? Like, because you have to, not because you want to. That's just like if your PO or your mom or your dad or your girlfriend or your girlfriend, your wife or whatever. Like, if you don't stop drinking, I'm leaving. If you don't stop doing drugs, I'm leaving. Like, or I'm taking your kids, or I'm doing this. You know what I'm saying? You don't really want to do it, but you know you have to do it because if you don't, you're gonna lose your family. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the difference. And or like I said, or like your PO. If you don't stop drinking, you don't stop doing this, you don't stop doing that. So you like, you know what I'm saying? You know what? Just like they said on Friday, like we said, you know, as Debo said, you know. Stop drinking. All right, I'll stop drinking. But when you leave, I'm going to be drinking again. You know what I'm saying? Type stuff. You know, and that's the thing. Getting all upset and you walking around through life and you just upset. Oh, man, I can't drink. Like I always say, Eeyore, always me. I can't drink anymore. Ooh, what do I do? When you are mad and you are sad, you walking around and your life is just horrible because you cannot drink anymore. You know what I'm saying? That's sobriety. You sober, yep, and I commend that. But you're not so recovering. You don't want to do that. You're just doing it because you have to. And I want to tell you guys this too. Don't get me wrong, yo. If you are starting off in sobriety because somebody else is making you whatever and you make that transition, then that's great. Like I'm going to tell you too, when I first got sober, I was doing it because I was on probation. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really want to do it, honestly. I mean, I got to the point. So I'm not saying if you are just you being sober because you have to, it's a bad thing. It's not. You know what I'm saying? Just recognize the difference. You know what I'm saying? There is two different things there. You know what I'm saying? And once, like I said, once I got to the point where I wanted to be sober, then that's what I did. It was wonderful, guys. You know what I'm saying? I was in recovery then. Now, let me tell you the difference between the definition to recovery. Recovery means that you're doing it for you. You know what I mean? You're not doing it for nobody else. You're not doing it because you can't have to, or your wife says to, or your girlfriend, or your kids, to get your kids back, or this and that. You know what I'm saying? You're doing it because you really actually want to. And you're actually looking at your problem. You're actually accepting your problem. You're accepting that you have a problem, first of all. First and foremost, you're accepting that you have a problem. And you're accepting that you're willing to make a change. You know what I mean? You're not fighting it anymore. You know what I'm saying? And that's the point. And that's recovery. You know what you want. You're trying to make your life better every single day. You're striving to make yourself better. What can I do to make myself better today? You know what I'm saying? And that's a big point. That's a big important point of actually doing that. Because if you're not making yourself better, guys, what are you doing out here? You know what I'm saying? And like I said, guys, you always got to remember that it's not going to be easy. You know what I mean? It's going to be hard. You know what I'm saying? And that's the point. Be willing to take the challenge. Be willing to do what you have to do to better yourself. You know what I'm saying? Really, honestly. So, I mean, like I said, guys, there is a difference. But like I said, too, and I want you guys to realize, guys, like, if you're just in sobriety right now, guess what? I commend you. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully you get to the recovery stage But everybody got to start somewhere. So I'm not putting you guys, I'm not putting the people that's in, you know what I'm saying, sobriety down at all. No. You know what I'm saying? But I just want you guys to know the difference and see the difference, because there is a difference between the two. You know what I mean? Because you have to start somewhere. Some people out there might just be like, you know what, I'm just doing this because I have to. And then once I get off this probation, once my wife stop tripping, once I get my kids or whatever you're doing, I'm going right back to it. And that's your prerogative. You know what I'm saying? I hope you don't. I wish you don't. You know what I'm saying? Because on this side of the fence, you know, the recovery, you know what I'm saying, the not doing it anymore and know what you're doing is so much better than the alternative, going back to the same old ways and stuff like that. But you know what? Everybody got their own mind. You got your own choice. You know what I'm saying? And that's the way it is. And let me tell you something, guys. And I want to make this point clear too. If you're in your recovery point, you're on the recovery, you're just not in sobriety, and you relapse, guess what? That don't mean that you're not in recovery. That don't mean like, okay, well, I relapsed, so I just must be in sobriety stage. No, you're in the recovery stage, and I still want to make that abundantly clear. Relapse happened. You know what I'm saying? You know, slips up happen. It happens, guys. That's just the way it is. But as long as you get back up and you keep moving, I'm gonna keep it real. Keep saying this over and over again, and you're good. You're still striving to do what you need to do. And that's all that matters, guys. And that's the 100% point about that matter. Yup. So, yeah, that's the biggest thing. So, like I said, let's just think about which one are we at right now, so we can strive to do better. You know what I'm saying? Ask yourself, am I in recovery or I'm just in sobriety? Which one? You know. And like I said, to me, either is fine. It really is. It's fine. But as long as you know where you at, then you know it. And that's the biggest thing. If you know you're in sobriety and you're only doing this for this one reason, and you just know that for a fact, at least you know. At least you being honest to yourself. Like, you know what, I'm not about to pull it wool over my eyes, nobody else's. You know what I'm saying? And I have had friends like that, you know, that told me, you know what, I'm only doing this for the course and stuff. And they are striving, they are doing well right now. They are in the recovery path. They're just shooting up because, like I said, once you get to that point where you like, you know what, I got money in my pocket. I'm not, you know what I'm saying, I'm not going around, I'm not, you know what I'm saying, doing anything, like, you know, I'm not running from the cops anymore, I ain't worried about going to jail no more, you know what I'm saying, I'm not worried about anything, you know what I'm saying, so, I'm good, I love it, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna keep going on this path right here, right now, you know what I'm saying, and you like, oh yeah, I'm doing this stuff, you know what I'm saying, and that is absolutely perfect, guys. You do that, and you just, you know what I'm saying, keep on moving, and that's what's up. Hold on one sec. And that's absolutely perfect, guys. You know, you're like, you know. And like I said, that's what's up, though. That's just how it is. I love it. I love you guys. And you know what? At the same time, let's just do it, guys. You know, I'm not mad either way it go. Either way it go, it is whatever. But it is nice to know which one you are, because you know where you're going then. You know what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah. Nah. But anyway, I'm about to get up off here. I just wanted to throw that question out there and, you know, put it out there for you guys. That was a good question from my friend Shannon. She's awesome. Hopefully I can get her on here one day. You know, she's a little shy, but it's okay. But anyway, I love you guys. Y'all keep going. Y'all keep doing it. You know what I'm saying? And you already know what I always say. I'm super, super, super proud of you. Yeah, I'm proud of all y'all. No matter if you in sobriety or you in recovery, I'm still proud of you. Keep going. I'm out. Yes, sir.